Let's just start there because Bill Barr has now confirmed, yep, we're looking at what Rudy Giuliani's brought back, but we're looking at it with a skeptical lens. What do you make of that?
Well, I don't even understand why Rudy Giuliani has a special vehicle into the into the Department of Justice to ultimately present his dirt. I mean, Rudy Giuliani, whose list of conflicts is as long as his list of foreign clients, who we still don't know who is paying him, and who we know previously dug up dirt on Ambassador Yovanovitch and presented it to the State Department only for it to be totally false. So why does he uniquely have a special vehicle into the Justice Department?
No, I hear you. I hear you. And the pushback has been there. And the response from Bill Barr this week was that we have a, quote, obligation to basically open the door to anyone who wishes to provide us with information. So, I mean, where do you go from here? Right? Clearly they've got it. They're looking at it.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I'm sure, first of all, that all of those who might have information on President Trump will have a special channel to get into the Department of Justice to present issues that they may think are potentially of a criminal element as well. So that doesn't exist. So the mere creation of this already taints the process. Look, they better make sure that before they pursue anything that Giuliani presents to them, that in fact they're absolutely sure that there's some scintilla of actual evidence to make the case. It just stinks, and it stinks to the high heavens because it's been very clear that the president wants Rudy to go dig up dirt on his adversaries and present it to the Justice Department, and the Justice Department is complicit at the end of the day by accepting it.
Let's talk. You've had a lot to say on Twitter, certainly, about the budget, the Trump White House budget, since it came out yesterday for 2021. And it's notable in there's a proposed $65 million cut to the World Health Organization, down 50% from fiscal 2020. I would note that it includes a proposal for $115 million in global health security. So this is sort of to try to prevent epidemics, to try to effectively address disease outbreaks like the coronavirus. You have New Jersey, citizens, your constituents stuck in China, not able to get back in the middle of all of this right now. When asked about the cuts, why cut WHO funding in the middle of this epidemic, Steve Biegun responded by saying that the budget bolsters our capacity as a country to detect and respond to outbreaks and prevent epidemics from reaching our borders. I take it you don't agree with him.
No. Look, first of all, this one plus-up that you mentioned, Poppy, is actually from very deep cuts. This administration came in with the National Security Council and dramatically cut the whole effort at the NSC as it relates to global pandemics. We have been fighting to fund up, knowing that a global pandemic can happen at any given time. And you just can't bring everything together instantaneously in order to respond to the challenge of the moment. You have to have a structure and the resources that are there for any given moment, such as the coronavirus. So the administration in this regard has been cutting in the past, undermining the very essence of the structure necessary, and now they want to play catch-up ball. Well, we'll do everything we can to provide the resources because it's a public health challenge at the end of the day if the virus can spread. So far, so good in the United States, but we have to be vigilant, and that's why you just don't cut the very essence of these programs when you don't have a challenge so that you're ready when you do have one.
Yeah, I mean, now the death toll is crossed 1,000 people globally, and fingers crossed here in the United States that it doesn't spread more. Let's spend our remaining few minutes talking about the race. It's a big day in New Hampshire. Obviously, you had previously endorsed Senator Cory Booker before he dropped out of the race. Are you ready to endorse someone now? Is there a candidate you like best?
No, not really, not at this point in time. But look, I just hope that, we have a good process in New Hampshire. But I'm really looking for the races beyond New Hampshire. The first two states in the nation are not fully representative of what the American people are and what they look like and who they represent. So I'm looking for the opportunities beyond. For me, I think, you know, you have to have the ability not only to have big ideas, but get those ideas done, and you have to have the ability to beat President Trump. And I'll be looking at those factors as I come to a conclusion on to who to endorse.
Yeah. Finally, what struck me about the statement that you put out when Senator Booker decided to end his campaign is you said you had genuine sadness that, quote, Cory's unwavering message of fairness, faith, and coming together in common purpose is exactly the path our nation needs to heal. And you were so sad that with that message, he wasn't able to go further. Given that, do you have any concerns about, to use the words of former President Obama, what seems to be a circular firing squad among the Democratic candidates at this point?
Well, look, you know, in a competition, there's always going to be a vetting of the differences of positions and views. That's legitimate for the voter. But at the end of the day, I believe the threat to this country is presented in Donald Trump. I believe that he has created harm to the country, and in my role as the senior Democrat on the Foreign Relations Committee, I believe he has created harm in our international standing. I don't think it's irrevocable harm. I do worry that if he gets reelected, it will be irrevocable harm, and so therefore, I'm very much looking for someone who can bring us together in common cause and defeat the president.